This scene on our layout is a good opportunity to address the water runoff requirements in our scenery for a more plausible look. But first, a local pulled by an Alco switcher is bringing a cut of reefers to a fruit loadout business. After leaving the main line, the local takes an old branch line. The caboose is dropped off to back the reefers down the siding that can accommodate 4 cars at a time. The conductor can walk down to the office to pick up the paperwork. The first 3 reefers are all old, all-metal Atherin kits from the early 1950s that are all enhanced with better details. The last reefer is a recently made wood-side scratch-built model. This branch line is to model a typical one of the old de-electrified Sacramento Northern that the WP could also use. This facility sits down in a low depression that could easily be a flood zone without taking measures to address the problem. There were several Stewart Fruit Company locations in Contra Costa County of Northern California. The building is a repurposed model of the old 40th and Shafter Oakland station, once on the Sacramento Northern. There is the main loading siding and a second siding for car storage and delivering lumber to the fruit crate and pallet shop. These reefers are in the non-iced ventilator open roof hatch mode for fruit that doesn't need icing this time of year. Here's a look at the construction phase when I was figuring out what to do with this open bottoms area encircled by track. I made an open rectangular area for an access hatch. More on that later. The lower areas are made of stacked homosote bonded together and covered with a film of liquid nails. The taller hills and cliffs are made from stacked and carved Owens Corning pink foam insulation material, also coated and bonded together with liquid nails. This is the same area when the basic scenic elements were still new. Some of the early scenes show the green building as a Hunt Brothers facility until I changed its name. The air shed allows an extra 2 reefers to be loaded in addition to the pair the green building can accommodate at the same time. The pavement will be expanded to encircle the buildings to better manage truck traffic without crowding. Now notice the tall hill on the left. It view blocks the tracks behind it, but it also creates a watershed problem if I hadn't built a creek to divide the scene up. The large hill is what plugs up the access hole. Opening the hole is accomplished by pushing upward from below. Setting the hill with an offset, you can complete the removal from above. Set the hilltop someplace where it won't be stepped on. The hill is held in place by 4 stops. From this view, we can see the water's path from the hills and especially the tunnel's portal area. The removed hillside is another director of rainwater into the creek. If the creek didn't exist, the entire fruit complex would be a swamp. The hill plug's top layer has a very irregular outline to make the tiny seam be significantly less noticeable, especially when the bushes and grass are added in critical areas. This view shows the curves in the seam's outline shape. Now the hill plug is back in and the seam is very hard to spot from any viewing point on the layout's walk-around areas. Tunnels can often weep water since rocks and soil can soak up water and drain out for weeks after a good soaking of rain. The gully gives rainwater a path out to the creek. Another sloped drain point is here. The banks are of exposed hard shale deprived of any topsoil. Many places in these locations have but a thin layer of topsoil that easily washes away with the erosion. This area is slightly sloped, consisting of a layer of sandstone. Here are some points along the creek bed on their way to deeper locations downstream, such as the county road crossing here. Finally, the creek at a deeper point crosses under the mainline track. Here's a better look at this point on the layout, and an overview of the fully implemented scenery. You can see how the hill acts as a view block divider. Before all the scenery was finished, this was the beginning look. I wanted to add a paved area to encircle the entire complex. This view shows the added pavement and how it adds to the water runoff into the creek on the sloped sandstone path. This material is covered well in our 1,000 model railroad scenery ideas of sidewalks and roads. In order to begin pavement encirclement, I had to cross over the curvature of two diverging tracks. You can see the marks on the gray homosode. A piece of roadway was cut from multiply art illustration board that I bought at an art supplier for all my roads. Note the beveled edges. Use a piece of typewriter carbon copy paper and burnish the road piece in place to transfer carbon markings to the bottom of the road segment. You can see the outlines of the rail tops for both the tracks. Cut all the pieces out and between the rails make clearance for the wheel's flanges. Install after adding the ballast. Keep the ballast away from the roadway areas. Before installing the pieces, coat with a texturing agent like gesso that's mixed with a darkening latex paint. Bond the pieces down with a careful amount of liquid nails. A damp sponge can add rough texture. Once dry, chalk powders can add to darker patches to represent tires scuffing, oil, and general grime. Some of the rough roadway can be directly applied with darkened gesso using a putty knife. Add India ink or thin Sharpie lines to represent cracks and patches like on this county road. Here I needed to widen the roadway, so I trimmed the embankment with an industrial razor to resemble a bulldozer's blade work. This is old putty knife applied rough old pavement. Well, I hope you try some of these ideas on your own layout, and thanks for watching. To see more features and to receive new ones, be sure to subscribe and hit the like button.